Hey buddies, I'm Swoggy here, coming at you with another Borderlands 3 video. Today I want to show you the black market location and each and every single weapon and piece of item that's in there. After I show you the location of the item, I'm going to then, of course, showcase what each item can actually do back in Sanctuary. But before we get into meat and potatoes of the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and follow me on Twitch in the top right. You have no idea how much helps me out, and let's get into it.
Legendary? Whoa! No way, dude!
First things first, it's going to be on the planet of Necrotafeo, which means that we're going to go to Desolate's Edge. Now, Desolate's Edge has two areas that you can actually fast travel to, and the actual location of the black market machine is right here. The closest fast travel location is going to be Desolation's Edge right here, not the drop pod, because the drop pod is going to place you really far away. This is going to immediately teleport you to Typhon's old camp, and pretty much what you want to do is just head over to this area. It eventually allows you to get to the actual cyclone, like spawning in the vehicle. We're going to just take an immediate left, as I'll be showing you in a few moments here. The duration and length of time it takes to actually get to the black market location is only about 20 to 15 seconds, which isn't too bad, and you can cut some time off by getting off of the vehicle right here, because you can actually just jump up from this little ledge into the little location. It shaves off a couple of seconds, but what you want to do is just keep heading forward. There's going to be a lot of Malawan enemies that spawn right over here, so you just want to take just an immediate left. If you guys are familiar, this is the area that we deactivated the force field to try to go fight General Trant, but he blew up the bridge on us, so unfortunately we weren't able to fight him right there, but we're almost there, so it'll only take a few more moments. If you look directly forward, you'll probably see the shining red black market location that is just right here. Now, there's going to be technically 4 items in here because there's some variants, but before I show you the items, their location one more time is just right here. Let me zoom out on the map all the way, and let's actually look at the items. There's going to be the Jericho, which isn't that great of a launcher. It actually does pretty decently wise on mobbing, but I'll show you my best attempt at trying to kill Graver with this weapon, but it's not really that great, but it's a fun weapon to use, I'll say that. Embrace the Pain is the other one, as well as Pain is Power. These two are variants off each other, so technically they're the same gun. They have slightly different effects, but unfortunately they can kill you very easily. I'll show you in Sanctuary in a few moments. And then finally we have the Front Loader, which is the best item in the machine, arguably. This allows you to bring down your HP below 50% HP, which is very nice. Unfortunately, that does get rid of health gating, but it does enable URAD, aka the under 50% HP bonus radiation damage, which is very nice. But let's head over to Sanctuary so I can actually showcase the items. First things first, let's talk about Embrace the Pain. Despite it looking like a very cool gun, it doesn't actually deal that much damage. So Embrace the Pain has a special effect. As you are shooting, it's going to increase the fire rate faster and faster. The max damage is only going to be 30k, and it can only spawn and fire. It doesn't deal any splash at all, and it can have listed projectiles of 1, 2, and 3. Now, the problem, as you see with both of these, you'll see in a few moments, is that as you see here, it gets really fast, as I mentioned, but once it overheats, it quickly immediately annihilates our HP. So unfortunately, you can't really use this weapon. The damage on the gun is honestly pretty good. It just has that huge drawback, which is very unfortunate. Next, we go to the Pain is Power, which is the other variant of the Pain series. Now, the Pain is Power has the max damage of 23k. It has list projectiles of 1, 2, and 3. It can only spawn and fire. Same exact ordeal with the other one, but the only thing difference is that this one has right off the bat a faster fire rate, but as we get higher and higher in the ignite or the overheating, our damage increases by a lot, which is really nice, but unfortunately it kills us, which is really bad. Once again, if they were to fix the ignite damage on these guns, it probably would be pretty decent, but unfortunately at the moment there's no real reason to use it. I've heard claims that the reason why the self damage is so high is because of Mayhem scaling, but I'm now on Mayhem 0, and just to confirm, I was on Mayhem 0, I did turn it off and save quitted just in case if that matters at all. I'm just going to use a regular Embrace the Pain, which has huge ignite damage, and as we shoot here, you'll notice that I'll get downed immediately as well, which is unfortunate. So it's not because of Mayhem scaling at all. And just to prove that even further, my other Embrace the Pain I have here doesn't actually even have any Mayhem levels. So the one I just tested right there was Mayhem 10, but we're not on any Mayhem levels, so in theory it shouldn't really be affecting us. But if I were to go to this other Pain is Power right here, it doesn't have any Mayhem levels, as you see right here, no Mayhem levels. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start shooting, and you'll see that I get instantly downed as well, which is very unfortunate. So Mayhem scaling or anything like that doesn't have anything to do with it. The ignite damage on yourself is just too much in general, no matter where you are. Maybe on lower levels isn't that as big of a deal, but at level 72 it definitely is a big deal. So maybe it scales based on the level you are as opposed to Mayhem scaling. So now let me turn back on Mayhem level 11 as well. Due to these unfortunate side effects on these weapons, I wouldn't really recommend using them. You only get to shoot for about like 5 seconds before you're down with both of these weapons, so it's not worth getting at all, which is very unfortunate. And the next is going to be the Jericho. And the Jericho is honestly a really cool gun. It looks really slick, but the only unfortunate part is that the damage is a little bit low. As you see right here, the card damage is very low for a launcher. Most launchers have 100,000 or even higher, but the cool thing about this gun is that when you shoot it, it's going to shoot a rocket into the air and then drop 3 grenades, but we'll talk about that after I explain some of the specifics on the weapon. The max damage on this weapon is 35k. As you see right here, it's going to be only come in radiation, which is a bit unfortunate, but that's okay because you get lots of raid explosions, and then splash annoyments are possible on this, which is nice, which I do have on this particular Jericho. Now I would test it on the Jack clone, but as you see right here, the rockets kind of hit the ceiling and don't actually show the full effect, as well as its secondary effect, which is mortar, which is probably you already know, it sends a bunch of rockets to the ground on the little red spot right there, and then does the actual effect of the grenade. So as you saw right there, each one of those rockets sent down a grenade. I am using an Infernal Wish, so you'll notice double the amount of projectiles, but if you were to just send it down, it goes all the way up, launches the grenades back down, and those explode. Now these grenades actually do really well at mobbing, but for bossing it's not quite amazing. But let me go over to Athena so I can show you that. So honestly, whenever I recommend mobbing with this particular weapon, I like to use mortar because you can just lace around the whole area and kill all the enemies around. Of course you can use the regular launcher, but I feel like that's a little bit harder to aim. As you see right there, I wanted to kill the guy directly in front of me, but I couldn't quite hit him, so the mortar allows me to actually target exactly where I want to go. Another nice thing with this weapon is that you can use Moze with Some for the Road to allow yourself to just constantly spam it. So I just exited Iron Bear, and now I can just spam it all over the place. So the damage when you do the mortar part is actually pretty decent, but you can get down pretty easily with the with the rockets if you're not careful. So it definitely does a great job at mobbing. It just, once you actually get to the point of bossing, the damage gets a lot less, as I show in a few moments. But finally, let's discuss the final item in the entire market machine, which is going to be the front loader. Now the front loader is honestly a pretty cool shield. It has like a bunch of blood splatter on it, so I really like that. But pretty much what it does, its main effect is it reserves 60% of your max HP and returns it as shield capacity. So if you were to equip it, you're going to be below 50% HP and thus be able to use U-Rat annoyments. So it's a great enabler. It's really cool. If I were to equip it on my Moze, you would see that I would have only 1 HP because I have Tooth and Red Line, which reserves 40% already, and then the front loader does 60%, but I'm still going to equip it so I can show you. So my shield is a lot higher, my HP is now more reserved as it was before, and we have more shield capacity. So if you don't want to use a Deathless, you can use the shield, which opens up the artifact slot for better artifacts if needed. Generally, I don't think that it's worth to use that shield, honestly, because you can just use the Deathless. I'd say shields are sometimes more important on certain builds, like using Revolter, Infernal Wish, and a bunch of other stuff. But if you're using a build that needs URAD and you need to use maybe a certain artifact that isn't the Deathless, you could go for that, which is nice. Best item on the entire machine is probably the front loader, only due to the fact that it enables some URAD setups, which is nice. But otherwise, for mobbing, the Jericho is really good. It's really fun to play with, I'll say that, but it's nothing truly amazing. Like the Plague Bearer does a better job at mobbing, I would say, but it's definitely very fun to play with. Now let's go over to the Grave Ward so I can show you how much damage we can actually do with the Jericho if I'm trying my best with it. Before we kill Grave Ward, I just want to say that I'm an official member of Fanatical, which means that you can now support me by using the refer link on the top right or the description in the comments to buy PC games that you're looking for. You can get Elder Ring on a discount and other up-and-coming games that are coming out in the future at discounted price. Even if you want to get Wonderlands, you can buy it on Fanatical as well using my code. Using that code will really support me. So if you haven't quite bought Wonderlands and you're looking to get that, make sure to use the link down in the description. Right off the bat, as we go down here, you'll notice that the only way for me to actually hit Grave Ward due to the trajectory of the projectiles being so low is either if I were to go to the edge of the arena and try shooting my rockets over there, or if I just wait for his arm. Now, the bad part is that the projectiles don't hit his arm, well enough for it to kill him, but I'll still showcase my best attempt on this guy. So I'm going to do the normal setup, enter exit Iron Bear, activate Element Projector, debuff him. I'm going to send my rockets out for him, and you'll notice that it does decent damage, but I'm now going to be forced to have to awkwardly hit Grave Ward right here, and the damage isn't spectacular. Like, I could kill him a lot quicker with other weapons. It's definitely not a bad launcher, but it's definitely not a good launcher. It's like middle of the road. Like, there's better launchers you can use as opposed to this, but it definitely does a decent job at mobbing, which is always fun, and it's really fun to see a bunch of radiation explosions. But of course you could use radiation launcher of any other kind, but otherwise it's a pretty fun launcher overall. It's not, yeah, I don't need to keep repeating that. It's not amazing. You guys get it. And as always, a huge shout out to the members who make these videos possible. We got Galaxies, Jace Noodles, Clairvoyance, and 31bar70. These are the people who support me as little as $5 a month, and you could also support me as little as $5 a month by clicking the link in the top right or the description in the comments. Becoming a member will allow you to support me. The more members we have will mean the closer I get to becoming full-time, which will mean more videos for you guys. So a big shout out to these members on the screen right here. They really help me out. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I hope you all have a great day. Bye-bye.
And the last shall be first to immerse in a pass out heat, facing him out with a moxie melt till he woke up drowning in tchotchke hell. More in a cave with a torch on a wall than a window arrangement of porcelain dolls.